Hello, welcome to the No Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Patrick McDonald, with me co-host Sheldon Kaufman. Today's a crazy video that I didn't think we would ever be putting out, but after we post our trade deadline episode, the Lakers and Mavericks swap Anthony Davis and Luka Doncic at at midnight. Everybody's asleep, and this is what we wake up to. This is crazy. Sheldon, go ahead. What was your reaction to this?
Well, it was very shocking. Luca, at this point of his career, he's still very young, only 25. The Mavs franchise player. This is a team that we talked about when they get Luca back. They will be back in a top three seed. We were talking about that. And they just traded him away for Anthony Davis, who is really good player, but how long is he going to play for? Very win now move by the Mavs, and I think it puts a lot of pressure on them in a conference that's really tough to win now. Um, I do think that the Mavs defense now is going to be really good, as it already was, and now you add in Anthony Davis, who's going to be the runner-up probably in DPOY because of Victor Wembanyama, but one of the top tier defenders in the league. So that was my initial reaction. And also, the Lakers now have a point guard.
Dude, I was like, this isn't real. This is when I
Yeah,
saw it. I just was like, there's no way that's real, right? And then I saw the Shams tweet and I was like, oh, this is real. And I was so surprised. I never thought Luka leaving the Mavericks would happen the way that it did. I always just in my head was like, they're not gonna get it done and he's just gonna leave as a free agent. Nope. They just traded him away. Yesterday I put the Mavericks as a dark horse. I think, did you as well? Either-
yeah, I did.
Yeah, I mean, just ridiculous stuff. I mean, this trade's crazy for me because if you think about it this way, do you think either of these two teams get better in the current moment?
I think the Lakers do. I think the Lakers get better from this trade because now you can shift Austin Reeves to the shooting guard position where he's more comfortable. You have a true one in Luca, and Luca is a top five MVP candidate pretty much every year. And a thing that you talked about, I can't remember if it was on pod or off pod, moving LeBron to the four now is something that you can do maybe um, with this new acquisition. So I think that they definitely do get a little bit better in that aspect. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the team's lineups look like. Because do you think that Kyrie maybe assumes the one like he kind of did in Boston, or does because when we've seen Luka out, we've seen Spencer Dinwiddie running that position. So
If I had to guess, Kyrie's gonna start at point guard and they're gonna run three like of their wings between Washington, Marshall, Klay Thompson, Grimes. They're gonna have two of those guys starting, and they're gonna have AD. I've also been seeing in lineups with AD next to Gafford, but like I feel like one of Gafford or Lively is 100% about to get traded because I think all three of those guys are best utilized as centers. So I don't see all three of them sticking around. I feel like one of them is definitely gone, and then they're gonna, I don't know, upgrade at the wing position somehow. Um, with the Lakers though, like Anthony Davis is their best player, or he was. Like I think long term they set themselves up a lot better, but I don't think the Luka LeBron fit is going to be like perfect, but like it's going to be good enough. Like, I feel like they'll still make the playoffs. It's just I don't I think their defense, like they were already like ranked like 17th in defense, I think, at best, and then they just lost Anthony Davis, who I think was really holding things together for them. So like they'll probably get a little bit better on the offensive end of the floor, but I don't know how much better they're necessarily going to get because I we talked about it yesterday. Like I already think that they're running a little bit high compared to how good that they actually are. Um, I mean, having Luka in the long term is definitely better than not having Luka in the long term. So I don't. Obviously, it's a great move because they gave up Anthony Davis and a first round pick, and Jalen Hood-Schifino. But it's just ridiculous for me. None of this could have been seen coming. Um, Ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree, Pat. Really, it's just very random trade. I think is the consensus around this.
Yeah, yeah. Um, did you see the report that apparently Luke had been up to 270 pounds?
I did see that. Yeah, that's I. I mean, I don't know. I think that's not going to be an issue. I really don't see that being an issue. I think he'll lock it in, and even he can play well at that. I mean, he's been playing at what, like 250.
250? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he's been playing as a bigger body, and we see him post up and get him on the back hip and draw fouls, stuff like that. He's still able to step back. It's not like he's a quick like jab step player. He doesn't need that. He kind of just lures you to sleep, step back three. Um, so I really don't see it being too much of an issue. I think that it's going to slim down too as well.
He'll probably just get right back down to 250 after he's playing because he's missed. This is, I think, the longest chunk of time he's missed in his NBA career. Um, and I mean, obviously, he's gained 20 pounds in a month, which is kind of crazy. Like, what's the diet? But um, put
He's on the
somebody else on.
Zion diet.
Yeah. And like you said, in comparison to Zion, like Zion needs that twitch, right? I don't think Luka necessarily needs that twitch. Like he's a guy who kind of he'll just dribble his way around you rather than running in front of you, and he'll get you in jail on his back hip. Like this is just a ridiculous deal that has happened. Like I think this is the craziest trade of all time because there's also like no like warning to it. Like I'm very surprised that Luka his availability was not known, uh, like
Do you
league
think it
wide.
was kind of like a who approached who? Like, because I don't think it was until like they were like, "Hey, we want AD" or something like that. Like, I think it was like a kind of like the Mavs wanted someone and they're like, "Fuck it, we're gonna get rid of Luca." Because I
Yeah,
I don't think there's no way like he was available, right? There's no way that he had multiple suitors like calling trying to trade for him.
because I think Nico Harrison's their GM. What he said in an interview with Jason Kidd standing, like sitting right next to him, which I think is ridiculous because Jason Kidd looked so pissed off. He said that over coffee, it just came up at one point with Rob Pelinka. And then they eventually started actually discussing the deal. And they just eventually got it done. I'm like, you didn't even think to call up the Rockets about this. You didn't think to call up the Nets. Like you could have gotten so much more from. Like you could have gotten Nick Claxton and a ton of picks from the Nets, and then that would have kind of. Obviously, Nick Claxton's not Anthony Davis. Like I'll be the first person to tell you that Anthony Davis is underrated. But you could have set yourself up really well going forward with still a really good roster today if you would have called up Houston or Brooklyn too. So I just don't understand why they didn't involve other teams in the sweepstakes. Um,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Anthony Davis is an aging superstar. It's a win now move, you know. How much production are they going to get out of AD? Two more years of this, at least defensively. Like how long will he be able to? But I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. I think it all really now that the like it kind of falls on Kyrie Irving. If Kyrie can go back to what we've seen flashes of, and he really is kind of becoming. I don't know if he'll be the one option with AD there now, but he's gonna have to be the man to run the show. So I think a lot of it falls on him, and we're gonna see guys get some opportunities. I wonder if they start PJ Washington over Quentin Grimes at the three. Uh, if they have AD playing the four, I think that could be interesting. But even having PJ Washington coming off the bench is really good because been having a really good year this year. Jaden Hardy is a guy that's going to get opportunities, and he's been balling lately. So it's going to be a really interesting team. I think it's going to fall a lot on Kyrie, though. And AD, I think AD will be fine.
Yeah. I think the AD part of it's really interesting too. Um, just because like I I didn't think Luka was going to get traded, but I also like really didn't think Anthony Davis was going to get traded. Like to think that either of these guys were available is just like it would have like if I would have said this to you yesterday, like we would have both been like, what the fuck? Why is Anthony Davis available? Why is Luka available? So I think
Especially after the year both of them have been having. I mean, Luka was top five MVP candidate before he got hurt. Like I said, AD's Defensive Player of the Year candidate, and also has been top five MVP ladders throughout the year. So just crazy stuff. I mean, we rarely see big superstars like this getting traded, but like especially these kinds of superstars, like one options on teams, just insane.
I mean, just to think back, like when has a player of the caliber of Luka been traded? Like I Suns Kevin Durant trade, but like I would argue that Luka was definitely better than KD at that point. Harden to
Maybe
Brooklyn.
Isaiah Thomas getting traded to the Cavs. But oh, not. I guess he's not Luca level, but like,
Yeah,
I mean, that's all I can really think of. It's like big star wise, you know.
yeah. Like I would say like Luka's even better than Harden was going to Brooklyn. So
That, oh
maybe Shaq to Miami. Like is that how far we're going back?
yeah.
Are they Kareem to Los Angeles?
That Harden. I don't know.
Harden's interesting.
Houston Harden is different, bro.
He was.
He's different. But yeah, I mean, it's shocking.
Like and we thought that this would potentially be a deadline, like a deadline. And here we're
Yeah,
sitting.
yeah. I mean, listen, the crazy thing is Luca got traded before Jimmy Butler. I mean, imagine telling someone that a month ago.
Yeah. I think that's ridiculous. And Luka didn't even force his way out. Like he was surprised by it. Like
Do you think LeBron really didn't know?
LeBron definitely knew.
Dude, if LeBron didn't know that AD was getting traded, all hell would have broke loose.
I think the really interesting aspect of it too is Anthony Davis has been out for like the past couple days, and the trade was reportedly 48 hours ago. The Mavericks had offered it to the Lakers,
Wow.
and they like assembled everybody to consider if they are going to take it. So if I had to guess, LeBron and JJ Redick were included in that. Um,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be really. I think it's gonna be fun because I honestly do think both of them will gel well. Um, and I'm interested to see what AD does because he's been what he wanted to play the four. So I'd be like I think that he's gonna end up playing the four, and then you have Gafford and Lively. I mean, that's crazy lockdown. That's like a Walmart, Mobley and Allen down there.
is it even Walmart? Like, I feel like it's like I can't even come up with a good comparison. I mean, is it is it Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts? Like, is that how it works? Is that the comparison?
Yeah, I mess with that. I mess with that.
Like, I don't know. I'm not a coffee person, but like I feel like it's two pretty even. Like I think this is. I don't think we'll ever have a crazier trade than this. Because like even like some of like the Mitchell and Gobert trades, those were kind of surprising, but they were like, oh yeah, well Utah got like 6 first round picks. Like here it was just 2 stars traded for each other
And
essentially,
who
and
got the Lakers? I think they got a 2029 first round, the Mavs, but still.
Like, I would have expected the Luka trade to go to like OKC in 4 years for a bajillion first round picks, but no, it's just he's going to the Lakers for AD, a first round pick, and Max Christie. Like, that's crazy. Uh,
Shout out Jalen Hood-Schifino.
yeah, going to
Jazz got a
Utah.
good one. Jazz got a good one. Jazz have been pretty active getting PJ Tucker and Eubanks. Or not Eubanks. PJ Tucker and Mo Bamba. That's who they got.
They traded Eubanks and Patty Mills. So okay, I mean, good for y'all. This is, I mean, I just think this is ridiculous. You think Danny Ainge was just like looking at the Mavericks? He was like, okay. He's just like, I guess y'all can do that.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I'm just so confused. I'm also interested if like, could this have worked if the Jazz weren't involved? I feel like it could have. I don't know. Or they were probably both over the first apron, so it probably did need the Jazz involved. But why wouldn't you just take Jalen Hood-Schifino?
If you're the Mavs,
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, he's a guard, no?
yeah,
Hood-Schifino? Yeah,
he's a
they have.
guard.
I think it's because they have plenty of guards, and they just got Max Christie, and they already have Grimes and Hardy. So
Dinwiddie.
Dinwiddie, they should have traded Dinwiddie back. That would have been fire. Get the LeBron and Dinwiddie duo back.
Jesus. I think we're both still in shock about this one. This is crazy. I was planning on releasing another video this week, but I guess this is taking that place. Um, yeah. Do you got anything else that you want to get off here?
Nah, I mean, I, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's just gonna be fun to watch.
It's gonna be really fun to watch. The Lakers, I think they like win this trade just because they have Luka for the next like 3 years. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Like, yeah. I mean, that should do it for this. I think we'll have our reaction to the All-Star drafts out with Anthony Davis being selected as a Maverick. Like, this is still so crazy. I just assumed LeBron and AD would ride it out till the end of time in Los Angeles, but no, Pelinka pulled the strings.
Wow, wild stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, this should be going out like any time now. All-Star Draft reaction is on Thursday. I'll have MLB podcast coming out Tuesday, and then our normal episode will be coming out on Saturday. So that should be the rest of this week. Uh, crazy stuff.